Hello everyone. For those that don't already know me, my name's Ben Westwood and I'm a former child runaway that used to sleep rough on the streets of London from 12 years old whilst I was running away from foster parents and children's homes in Staffordshire. I used all kinds of techniques to stay undetected by the police and the authorities, and I spent quite a lot of time sleeping rough, not only in the East End of London in places like Whitechapel, but the West End, Piccadilly Circus, Green Park, all round Leicester Square, all places like that. And I wrote a book about it, 350 page book, 60 poems, and I'm going to read you a few of my poems here. And check out my crowdfunder as well if you'd like a signed copy of Poems from a Runaway, or any of my other books that I've recently released. So this one's called Toby Sycamore, which was my fake name that I used when the police used to stop me and ask for my name. Again, I'm in London and I'm back on the run, and because I was grassed up before, I need to stay undetected so nobody finds me. I'm going to have to try more. No one can know that my real name is Ben and that I've run away from care. Folk will be asking for me around Whitechapel, so it's best they think I've not been there. So I speak a fake accent, a pretend East End Cockney, from the moment I wake until night, for the whole next 4 months with everyone that I meet, just so I know that I'm alright. Or else they might find me when old Bill asks questions. Someone might say, I know him. So if everyone thinks that I'm from round here, the chances I'm caught are quite slim. One day plainclothes police pulled me outside Victoria Station, asking people outside for spare change. They were going to release me but decided they couldn't. As I was younger, my story seemed strange. The address that I gave just didn't exist, which I said in my fake Cockney voice. And 2.5 hours later they still wouldn't release me. I knew I did not have a choice. Hands up, I've been caught, I'm not really from here, I said like I spoke when back home. I thought they'd go mad, but in the end I was glad that it all ended in humourful tone. You did have us fooled, we thought you were local. It was just the address that you gave, which had made us suspicious, or else we would have released you out onto your way. Well, it's more lessons learnt for the next time, I guess, as I wait to be brought home by escort. If you need to stop for the bog, they'll walk you right to the door, but the lift home there's time for some thought. A few hours later I'm well on my way, and I know at least I'll get a warm bed. Once I get back to the kids' home where I live, I'll wash all my clothes and get fed. But everyone knows that I'll soon be back via hitchhiking or bunking the train, and I'll always choose a different way to get there. I might get caught if I pick the same. From Winners Triangle, Watford Gap, Oxford, Milton Keynes, I'm searching for my independence. Nothing stops these dreams. I know that I can make my way back to find Joanne. Just go the way they least expect was usually my plan. Often I would walk through town, through Pinner, St John's Wood. As long as no one knows I'm Ben, I reckon I'll be good. That's the end of that one. That was Toby Sycamore when I used to talk like that. My name is Toby Sycamore and I'm 16, I used to tell them, but I was only really 12. The next one's called Evening Standard, which was from when I was about 12, 13 years old, and I'd first kind of started sleeping rough in the West End. It's getting late on Piccadilly and night time is setting. I go and pick up Evening Standards, some are from the bin. Only from the top though, and others from the floor. I straighten them to try and hide that they've been read before. George the paper seller's gone, and Peter also too. So I'll get behind the stand and try and sell a few. No one knows they're second hand, as I neatly arrange. And after I've lost some sales, I learn to get some change. Evening Standard, I call out and hope I get a bite. People will still buy a paper at 10 o'clock at night. It seems the cops don't bat an eyelid, this seems to work sound. And after I'm there 2 hours, I've made around £6. Enough for me to get a drink or buy some food somewhere. There's Mackey's or the pizza place up by Leicester Square. The human traffic is now few, the tube's about to close. I put things back just how they were, so that no one knows. Yeah, that was about picking up the Evening Standards and selling them as if I was a legitimate Evening Standard seller. Oh, those were the days. It got me some food though, and you know, I'm not encouraging running away at all. If anyone young is reading this and is considering running away, I urge you to get in touch with Missing Children, the Runaway Outline, on 116 000, and they'll give you advice and help. This next poem's from when I was 13 years old. It's called Free Drinks on Haymarket. This time I'd run off in my tracksuit top with a Walsall FC badge on it. I'd walk past the big sports cafe down on Haymarket. I've had a good day hustling and I'll go in there, I think, to check out what this place is like and get myself a drink. Screens everywhere and racing car tables. This place was cool, I thought. And at the end of the room I soon got surprised that inside was a basketball court. I dropped down my bag and in there I went and took a few shots at the net. Then wandered around and walked up the next floor because I'm sure that there's more to see yet. I went to the bar and sat on a seat and brought myself 1 pint of beer. I'm glancing around and the barman asks me, "So what is it that brings you in here?" I then look down at my tracksuit top and then I go straight on to say, "I play in goal for Walsall FC reserves and it's Millwall that we play today." It had been the first thought that I had in my head, which was the main reason I lied. Always needed a story to keep a good cover, with depth and sometimes harder tried. "You from Australia?" I said to him. "New Zealand," he said back to me. And after I sat and brought a few whiskies, he told me the next ones were free. "Just give me 10 pence or something like that for the camera that's there on the wall. Because if they see you give money and see me give back change, there's nothing they can do at all." Another hour or so and plenty of drinks. I now am sure feeling the whiskey. I say thanks and goodbye and then make my way out and then walk along Haymarket tipsy. Yeah, interesting times, blagging it. I think that the barman in that place thought I was just thought I was funny. He probably knew I was a blagger. He probably knew I was completely bullshitting. Yeah, I was probably there just for his entertainment more than anything. But he probably didn't know I was a runaway. He probably just thought I was an oddball and just one of them, just a blagger. I don't know. Sometimes I had fun with my running away. You see, it was just, you know, that's what a young person does. They always find a way to try and smile through the hard times, and when you're trying to stay undetected, you do some mad stuff, man. Thank God I've been through all that already, you know. I think that's why I don't do anything like that now as an adult, you know. Right, we all got to go through it. I think I've done enough bullshitting to last 10 lifetimes, so yeah. The next one is called Curious Strangers. My next and final one, actually. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. Just a reflection of what it was like meeting people when I was living on the streets of West End. From, say, around 14, but I guess a collection of stories in a sense. From all my times from 12 to 15, 16, living on the streets of London. I sometimes wonder if they really knew. I guess I will just never know. Some people would come with some kind-hearted questions. My answers were sort of a show. I'd say I was 18 and I was out here because I'd been kicked out and alone. And sometimes I'd still wonder if they ever thought that I'd run off from care or from home. It's not often like this, but once in a while you'll find curious people out there that wanted to know why I lived on the streets. It's a good thing to know that they care. "Where are your parents and you're of a family?" every time those folk would ask. But in fear of being caught or grassed up to the law, I never would give them the true facts. "What's it like to sleep here, and how can you feel safe? And at night time here, don't you get cold? At the side of the road out here on your own, you don't even look very old." Some would be sober and some would be merry, but most of them just wanted to hear what it was like sleeping rough in West End, and was I on the crack or the gear. I'd tell them half-truths but we'd still somehow connect. I'm just trying my best to survive. They'd ask why I couldn't go back home to live, but to stay undetected I lied. I told them the truth when they asked of the dangers, like the drunk folk that will try to start fights. But after a while you just get a thick skin, and you just have to stand up for your rights. I tried to avoid having to lie too much, and I just tried to simply be. The last thing I wanted was to tug on their sorrows, so I'd say I was happy and free. Funny, I guess, my life in the West End, and some of the people I'd meet. There was once a woman who'd come every few days and play Scrabble with me on the street. I met Hughie Geller. He seemed a nice fella, although I'd not told him that I'd run away. He said he'd charged up a card with his positive vibes which would help bring some luck to my day. The boxer Chris Eubank would come whizzing past me on a small silver scooter so fast. And so many faces that I'd seen on the telly would once in a while walk past. I'll take each day just how it comes, but it wasn't all lonely and dark. I'd always still loved to play with a football, and across the road was Green Park. Big groups of lads, we would all kick a ball, and all nations would come together. And I'd always find myself something to do, no matter what sort of weather. Some kind-hearted folk would take me out for dinner. I'd sleep on someone's office floor. Some would simply drop me some breakfast, and the next day bring me some more. Always this life had brought me some bright sparks, and only now I can think this way. If it wasn't for those that had poked in their nose, I wouldn't be who I am today. And if I hadn't broken some boundaries myself, then things could have seemed so much worse. You're not on your own when good people connect, like a gift from this great universe. Yeah, that was a poem about the brighter side of living on the streets, but don't get me wrong, I had a lot of times where I starved and I hadn't eaten for weeks when I was really young, because before I found the day centres when I was like 12, 13 and blagging my way into the day centres and that, I sometimes didn't sleep really for months, so I'm pretty certain I've broken this world record of 11 days for no sleep. I'm pretty sure of that. Not that I could do it now, I'm a bit of a lightweight these days, but yeah. But that's a few poems from me. I just thought I would read them out. Check out my Amazon reviews. People who have read the book seem to like it and seem to say that they couldn't stop reading it, couldn't put it down. It was really easy to read. They just read it all fast because they didn't put it down. So that's great news. That's great to hear. Thanks everyone who supported it. Check out my crowdfunder if you want a signed copy of it. And all the very best. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the poetry. Me practising my public speaking. It will sound better and better, hopefully, the more I do this. So, thanks for listening. I will crack on and hopefully do some more videos. Big love.